Welcome to A Wanderlust for Life, the channel that shows you European gems through food and memorable experiences and gives you travel tips. I'm Jessica. I am an expat who's lived in Amsterdam since 2014, and today I'm here to give you the mistakes that visitors make when they come to Amsterdam. Because y'all make some big ones. All right, let's dive right in. The first one that I wanna just get off my chest right away, Amsterdam is not the Netherlands. It's just not. It's not a good representation of the entire country. It's a representation, sort of, but it's more of an experience all of its own, which is kind of what makes it amazing. So Amsterdam is the capital of the Netherlands, but it is one of 3 major cities in the North and South Holland area, and then there is, of course, other cities that you can visit. I have heard the craziest stories of people saying they've been to Amsterdam, but they have not been to the Netherlands, meaning they didn't even think that Amsterdam was the Netherlands. I have no idea if they thought it was its own country or Disneyland. I don't know, but it's just not. So Amsterdam is this wonderful mix of Old Dutch and New Dutch and exciting things to do, historical things to do, tons of museums to visit, of course beautiful canals and things like that. But it is heavily touristed, which means a lot of things have kind of been created for visitors, which is both good and bad, right? Because it brings in tourist money, but it also kind of changes the experience of what it's like to actually live here. If you visit Amsterdam, wonderful. I can't wait to welcome you here. We have tons of videos on it. I'll leave the playlist down below. But visit other parts of the Netherlands. That is a big mistake people make, is they only come to Amsterdam. They'll be like, I have 2 days, I'm just gonna see the city. Okay, if you only have 2 days, fair enough. You don't have enough time to visit everything else. But don't discount the rest of the country. There are so many other wonderful places. Rotterdam itself is a very modern city. It was heavily destroyed in World War II, so it is a lot of new and interesting architectural designs and shopping and food and all kinds of stuff. Totally different than Amsterdam. The Hague is very different as well. It's a city, well, it's actually kind of where the government is, even though we're in the capital of the country, the government is housed in The Hague. And The Hague may sound familiar to you from international laws that have been passed and treaties and things like that. So a lot of political stuff happens there, but it also has quite the charm of its own. And it has a beach. Speaking of which, I mean, we have a huge coastline. You can visit the beach here. You can visit the countryside, which is one of my favorite things to do here. And yes, we have videos about the countryside and other wonderful places to stay. I'll leave some videos down below for you to check out, but do not make the mistake of coming to the Netherlands and only seeing Amsterdam and thinking that is the full representation of the country, because it is not. Visitors like to walk in the bike lane. I get it, because it's flat, it's usually paved, maybe not usually, a lot of the times it's paved, and it's less crowded than the sidewalk. But don't do it, because we see the bike path as a road, and you wouldn't walk in the road, well, usually. So don't walk in the bike path. In Amsterdam, at least, it's typically designated by red. So whether it's red tiles or red pavement, if you're walking on the red, it's probably not a good thing, but there are some roads that are kind of mixed, that they're roads for cars and bikes and people, but just kind of follow. If you see somebody who's a local, or if you just see somebody riding a bike, just don't walk there. Just generally, that's the way it goes. A big mistake for some of the major museums here is not booking your ticket ahead of time. We have some world-class, super famous museums, and they book up fast. So we're talking the Anne Frank House, we're talking the Rijksmuseum. Go ahead and book for the Van Gogh Museum, the Van Gogh Museum, and just really any museum that you know about before you come here. Book tickets ahead of time if you can. A lot of those are also on the iAmsterdam card, so sometimes you can actually book through that before you get here too. So that is super helpful. But you don't want to come to this wonderful international city full of massive, amazing museums and miss out because you didn't plan ahead. These two kind of go together, but there are people who've complained to me in the comments too, that Amsterdam is too busy, there's not enough space. I don't want to come to Amsterdam. All right, cool, fair enough. In high season, in specific areas, it is packed and I try to avoid it as well. The historical center is the most known part of the city, so a lot of visitors go there. Yeah, I get it, beautiful buildings and stuff. You can see similar buildings in other parts of the city that nobody goes to. So yeah, you can complain that it's too busy, and I will understand. But unless you've made an effort to get outside of the city center, that's on you. And I've heard like major bloggers say this as well, and I am happy to tell you some of those places to go. Go into De Pijp. It will be busy, but it won't be as busy as Historical Center. There is a couple islands in the center, but towards the east near Central Station. But for some reason, people just don't go there. I do not understand it. We've gone there for photo shoots and stuff, and there's just nobody around. But if you look up the bar Hiding in Plain Sight, that whole area is pretty quiet and absolutely beautiful. Also, there's islands towards the west, the Westerdaks. They have beautiful, beautiful houses, gorgeous bridges, tiny streets, even a park with palm trees, and nobody finds that either. And it's stunning. So, if you've complained to me before that Amsterdam is too crowded, I challenge you to find a quieter place. And one of my favorite things that Sean and I have picked up, especially here, is if you find a busy section, turn. Just turn off that road and keep walking for a little bit. You'll probably find a very quiet spot. Let me know in the comments down below if you just think the city is too busy and if I've changed your mind at all. I would love to, because that is one of the big complaints and I really want people to enjoy their stay here. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Following that though, get out of the center. It's a beautiful area, I get it, but some of my favorite neighborhoods are Oud-West, and it's very lively, but mostly locals, great places to eat, some shops and stuff like that. In the east, you have just some awesome places to shop. I'll leave some information down below for you, because I'm like forgetting the name of the actual street. Oud-Zuid, you have where the Richie people live. Traditionally, from my perspective, the Richie people live. So there's gorgeous houses and landscapes and streets and stuff like that. And if you want to get super multicultural, there's like a food hall in Zuidoost, which is fabulous. It's in an old parking garage. There is plenty to do. Get out of the city center and come to Noord. You want to come and see NDSM with all those street art and stuff like that? I have a video for that. I'll link it right here. Go check it out. This city is pretty darn old, so I've heard of people making the mistake of coming and they don't want to walk up the stairs, because we have some nasty stairs around here. Not typically in hotels, but you can as well, especially if you book like something that used to be an apartment. And there are people who book things higher up and just assume there's an elevator. Do not assume there's an elevator. We stayed at Mr. Jordan and they had an elevator. It was the slowest elevator I've ever been in, but it was an elevator, and I was shocked because it is in an old canal house and they took the time and the money to retrofit it. Crazy, but that is something that you need to look for. If you're booking on booking.com or something, look that it has an elevator before you come, because if you can't go upstairs, that could be an issue. Saying that, we had the issue where my mother and my grandmother came, and there was a miscommunication because of how we label our floors and stuff like that. So our ground floor is the first floor, and then the second floor is the first floor. Does that make sense? So just keep those things in mind when you're booking an accommodation. And if you can't go upstairs, or you're scared about the steepness of the stairs, it is a legitimate concern. Ask the property before, like if you're booking free cancellation, ask before that ability goes away, if they're super steep, or maybe send you a photo or something like that. This one is really hard to avoid because it's just hard to know, but a lot of people make the mistake of eating at tourist restaurants. We did it when we first moved here. We have Argentinian steakhouses everywhere. I don't understand it at all. If you're from Amsterdam and you do understand why that's a thing, please let me know in the comments, because it boggles my mind. There are some tourist restaurants, and it's hard because they are gonna be in the super touristy areas, but there's also some amazing restaurants in some of the super touristy areas. Just do your research ahead of time. You can ask in a travel group on Facebook or Reddit or something like that if you want to know like some legit spots. I have a blog post on some amazing restaurants to eat at, so I'll leave that down in the description. People think that the food here is absolutely awful, and it's just not true anymore. I think maybe it used to be, but we have Michelin star restaurants, we have just generally good restaurants, we have restaurants that serve food from so many different cultures, and the people who are from that culture are cooking the food. So there's plenty of good spots. I don't want you to miss out and eat at a crappy one and ruin your vacation. And seriously, do not think that everybody who lives here smokes marijuana. Just don't, because it's not true. And it's kind of frustrating. I mean, even when I moved here, people were like, oh yeah, you're moving for that. I still have not eaten a weed brownie or smoked it. It's just kind of offensive. Just the assumption that everybody does something just because you wanna come here and do it. Like, it's just kind of a weird thing. And lastly, if you're walking through the red light district, do not make the mistake of taking photos of the women in the windows. I think everybody tries to do that. It's not good. Just, yeah, don't do that. If you want a few more Amsterdam don'ts, I have a whole freaking video on it. So I'm gonna leave that linked next to my head for you to watch, and all of the other Amsterdam videos in a playlist right here. Go check it out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and let me know down in the comments what was the most surprising for you. And if you want to subscribe so you get all of the next videos coming up, go ahead and do that and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. And fun fact, like over 90% of people who watch these videos aren't subscribed. And I'd love for you to join the YouTube family. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.